So from there, after determining our revenue, as we said, we're gonna account for this operational capacity exceeded. We're gonna be using the data. We're gonna be using some conditional formatting here, and then we will later on estimate our cost, and then we will later on fill our income statement. From the income statement, we will move on to our working capital schedule. We'll complete the working capital schedule where we have the account receivable, accounts payable, and the inventory. We're gonna account for all of these to calculate the change in non-cash working capital. So that's what we're gonna be doing. And the later one, we will simulate our depreciation schedule, which is a little bit complex. We have the accounting depreciation. This is what we're gonna be doing. And then we will later on account for the asset schedule, where we're gonna be taking into consideration the capital expenditures, and then we deduct the depreciation. And then we will later on calculate our tax depreciation, and finally we will later on complete our income tax schedule. So as you see, we have a lot to cover up here. So this is our operating schedule that we will later on use to drive our financial statements going forward. So as you can see, we have a lot to cover up here. So the first thing we want to do now is to go back to our transaction section. As you can see, we need the enterprise value as a result of this transaction to later on calculate the equity value or the equity offer value. What this private equity is going to be handing over to the target as the cash concentration. So in this case, we are not issuing out any shares or handing any shares to the target. This is a complete leverage buyout model where we use maximum amount of leverage to acquire another company. So the first thing we want to do here is we want to set up our transaction closing date and our first year of forecast. So in order to do that, we already have right here, we already have our first forecast fiscal year. So we want to determine our transaction date. So in this case, it's gonna be when this transaction took place. It's gonna be equal to, we're gonna go by date and then year, where we select this year -1, then month, which is gonna be equal to this, and then day, close the bracket 2 times. And as you can see, the transaction closing date is 2022, the end of the year, December 31st, 2022. So going forward, we want to simulate whatever the first year of forecast will be. So in this case, it's going to be equal to a year so we know that the first year of forecast is going to be in the year 2023. So having that set up, and then we can now move on to start determining or constructing our operational schedule. So in order to do that, we have to go back into our model, So we want to assign the first year of forecast, which is just gonna be this year, 2023. And then going forward, it's gonna be equal to this year plus 1. We can copy this and paste it here, or ESF, as formulas to keep the borders in place and the formatting in place. And then going forward, we have to determine what our days in the period is going to be and the plant capacity. So we have this set up in our assumption section, so we have to go back. So we reference to the transaction section of this model. So here we have our days in the period, it's 365 days, and we'll link out also to our plant capacity. In this case, we have it set up here for us. So going forward, this is gonna be equal to these 365 days. We need to use letter 1 in this model, or ESF, paste it to the rest of our forecast because we want to keep the borders in place, so we use the paste formula function in Excel. And then we have here the sales volume. So in order to determine the sales volume, we have to go back to our input section of the model. So here we have our